This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
The time right now is 4:27. We want to thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana. Obviously, you can see our Rafael Sanchez working from home this morning, live from his living room. We are practicing social distancing as an effort to flatten the curve. He will be joining us here shortly in just a moment with more news of the day. But first, we want to start off with, we are about 4.5 hours into Governor Eric Holcomb's stay-at-home order for the state of Indiana. This went into place right around midnight last night. So what does this mean for you? This means the governor is asking you stay at home. This is to help stop the spread of COVID-19. By doing so, this means less and less people will be infected, and the sooner we can get life back to normal. Now, this is in effect until Monday, April 6th at 11:59 p.m., but could be extended should the outbreak continue on its course. We'll have more on what this means for you coming up later this morning here on Good Morning Indiana. We do want to take a turn now, though. Today, we are going to experience some wonderful weather out there. That is the silver lining today, as many people are wondering what they're going to do all day stuck inside, Todd.
Yeah, well, today's the best weather day of the week, so you really need to take advantage of today. And for the first half of tomorrow, it's okay as well, but then a lot of rainfall is heading our way once again. This morning, while radar is dry, it still kind of has that damp feel. There's a little bit of patchy fog out there, and temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. But once we get rid of the morning clouds and the patchy fog out there, then plenty of sunshine in the forecast, and with that sunshine, we'll get the temperatures back above normal as we'll climb all the way up into the low 60s. So just give it a few hours here this morning, and then it turns into a wonderful Wednesday forecast for us. We'll talk more about the rainfall that's heading our way for the end of the week coming up in just a little bit.
Todd, thank you. Overnight, you may have missed it, but a coronavirus relief package passed. Lawmakers, they're working diligently into the early morning hours to get that $2 trillion package through. So we will break down later this morning what this means for individuals and businesses. Many people having their finances suffered due to the coronavirus outbreak. So we're going to look into what this could mean for you and your family and how soon we could see that money in our bank accounts. And finally, we want to continue sharing good news with you. This video, if you haven't seen it yet, you will not want to miss it. It is two doctors in Minnesota hitting the ivories singing Imagine by John Legend. You will not want to miss this story. It is a message of hope in one of the most unexpected places. We'll have that story plus news, weather, and traffic to kick off your Wednesday.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30 on Good Morning Indiana, Governor Holcomb's stay-at-home order is officially in effect. This morning, what state police want you to know about the new regulations. And helping Hoosiers during the coronavirus crisis. This morning, we're working for you with information on where you can go today to get your questions about unemployment answered. And this morning, congressional leaders have reached a deal on a massive coronavirus relief package. We're taking a look at what's in it and how it could help you and your family. We want to thank you for joining us here on Good Morning Indiana at 4:30 on your Wednesday morning. As you can see, our Rafael Sanchez in a new spot this morning. Good morning, Rafael.
Meredith, good morning. I'm broadcasting live from Johnson County. This is my living room. RTV6 installed a set in my living room so we can practice better social distancing. As you mentioned, the stay-at-home order is now 4.5 hours old, so we're going to also comply with that. We have a civic and moral responsibility to do so. Want to make sure you notice something, though, for Todd. These flowers right here, Meredith, they will change every once in a while. Oh. They're an honor for you and Lauren until we can reconnect. So we'll see how the flowers do. We'll change them up every day or so. And Todd, I got a gift for you as well here in the RTV6 Johnson County Bureau throughout the show. We'll see what happens.
All right, Rafael, thank you. Back here in the studio, though, we do want to check in with Todd. It's going to be a beautiful day out there.
Yeah, you just got to be a little bit patient here this morning. We have some patchy fog and some clouds that are left over from the rainfall that we had yesterday evening. But once we get rid of that, it turns into a beautiful day. In fact, it's going to be the best weather day of the week. Look at the visibility visibility here off towards the west. Only a quarter-mile visibility in Terre Haute as well as Lafayette. It's a little bit better, but we'll watch. These visibilities may continue to drop just a little bit. Temperatures are in the 30s anywhere you go. In fact, it could be a little bit of freezing fog there on the western portion of the state. But otherwise, with skies that are partly cloudy, once the sun comes up, we'll burn off that fog. We'll be left with plenty of sunshine. And look at your temperatures as we go throughout the day. 46 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour, 52 by 2 p.m. with our high temperature today topping off right around 62 degrees. Meredith.
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look right now at our Traffic Now cameras. This is I-65 south of 38th Street. You can see just a few cars and trucks out there here to kick off your Wednesday morning. No issues or delays to report right now. A somber message from health leaders after announcing Indiana's number of COVID-19 deaths now stands at 12. The State Department of Health is reporting 365 total positive cases of the virus. 2,931 people have been tested. A statewide stay-at-home order handed down by Governor Eric Holcomb is now in effect until Monday, April 6th at 11:59 p.m., but could be extended as needed. Speaking at a news conference Tuesday, Governor Holcomb stressed that now is the time for every Hoosier to do their part to stop the spread of the virus.
That's the whole purpose of Hunker Down Hoosiers, and we're doing the right thing. And to be part of this team, and when I say team, I mean everybody. I'm not talking about this administration. I'm not talking about the executive branch or the legislative branch or the judicial branch or folks who work inside this building. I'm talking about everybody.
Under the order, you will still be allowed to leave your home for essential travel. That includes for things like going to the grocery store, pharmacy, gas station, and to hospitals or medical facilities. We spoke to Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter to get some of your questions about the order answered. He says people should not fear the stay-at-home order. Carter told us Indiana residents will likely not see heavy-handed enforcement from police at the state, county, or local level. Carter also stressed that being on the road and out of the house for legitimate reasons is okay, but flouting the law, as Governor Holcomb described it, is not okay and could earn you a fine. Raphael.
The time now is 4:34. The stay-at-home order is in place to help slow the spread of the COVID-19 and to also flatten the curve. Health officials are concerned, though, that many people may not get the care that they need because of the large amount of cases involving COVID-19. So at a point now, they're really focused on making sure that people stay at home so that people can get the intensive care that they need from here on out. In Indiana, we've seen a steady increase in the amount of COVID-19 cases, and some hospitals are already dealing with a lack of much-needed medical supplies like gloves and masks. A state health commissioner, Dr. Chris Bach, says officials are working on addressing those needs.
We know that personal protective equipment is still a concern, and we've requested the rest of the Indiana share from the Strategic National Stockpile. We're also hoping to receive FEMA supplies. To supplement, industries and organizations from all over the state have donated PPE to their local hospitals and their health departments.
Dr. Box also says the Department of Correction is stepping up to help by making gowns and masks. And Community Health Network says it's accepting some donations of personal protective equipment like gloves, gowns, masks, respirators, wipes, and much more. The hospital system has launched a donation website and opened drop-off locations to make it much easier for you to donate those items. Now, you're encouraged to call 317-355-5599 or email the address you see there on the screen if you have any questions. You can also find this contact information on our website, theindychannel.com. And this time of crisis, of course, means that we're all working together. The IKEA store in Fishers donated more than 10,000 face masks to the Hamilton County Health Department on Tuesday morning. A spokesperson for the company said the store had the masks in storage as part of an emergency pandemic readiness kit. The masks will be distributed to local health care, police, and fire personnel who need it the most. And today, and really every day, we want to hear your stories of Hoosiers working together during this tough time. Share the positive efforts going on right now in your community by emailing us at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Hoosiers.com.
Hoosiers facing unemployment as a result of the coronavirus crisis are getting extra help from the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. Today, leaders will hold the second of 2 webinars addressing unemployment questions. They say they want people to know that there is help out there if they need it.
Every Hoosier who has worked and who is out of work due to no reason of their own is eligible to apply for their unemployment insurance benefits. Even those who have been impacted through a temporary layoff. The governor has given us our every ask to provide as much flexibility under our Indiana laws as possible to ensure that we are providing benefits to as many Hoosiers as possible. So now more Hoosiers can qualify, like those who are quarantined and those individuals who must stay at home due to school closings.
We have information on how to sign up for the webinar and unemployment benefits online at theindychannel.com. Some good news from Wall Street this morning. Dow futures are up after Congress passed a massive coronavirus relief package. The deal was just reached after midnight. Details of the nearly $2 trillion package will not be revealed until later this morning. We do know that it includes $250 billion for direct payments to individuals and families, $350 billion in small business loans, $250 billion in unemployment insurance benefits, and $500 billion in loans for distressed companies. Senate leaders on both sides say they are happy a deal was finally reached. And we will hear from those lawmakers later this morning. Again, we are expected to learn more about the deal, including when Americans will see those payments and unemployment benefits later this morning. We'll keep you updated both on air and online.
The time now is 4:38. There's some new changes coming in Indianapolis on how you can adopt an animal. In light of the stay-at-home order, animal care services here in Indianapolis will only do adoptions by appointments. Now, before that step, ACS encourages you to go to their website, submit an online application. The staff will then provide you with a list of animals they think would fit your family's best based on your application. Then they'll make an appointment for you to come in. Adoptable animals can be viewed online. The shelter is open today from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for adoptions and return to owners only. Remember, only appointments will be accepted.
You can be sure that you can make your Olympic dream coming true.
The 2020 Summer Olympic Games have officially been postponed. The message the IOC has for athletes and when the games are expected to go on. And we've been talking about and practicing social distancing as a way to slow the spread of the coronavirus. But do you know what that actually looks like? Coming up, some good visualizations to help you practice proper social distancing. Todd.
And Meredith, visibilities continue to drop on the western side of the state, where we're down to a quarter-mile visibility in Terre Haute as well as Lafayette. And temperatures there near freezing as well, so that could be some freezing fog. But we get rid of this fog. Turns into a beautiful day for us across the area. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:40. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
Hoosiers only on RTV6. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 4:43, and welcome to our studio in Johnson County as we practice some social distancing here at RTV6. For the first time in the history of the Olympics, the Summer Games will be postponed. They'll still be known as the Tokyo 2020 Games, but they'll happen in 2021. The International Olympic Committee and Japan's Prime Minister Abe, they've agreed to postpone the Olympics until next year because of the coronavirus. In a video released Tuesday, the IOC president, Thomas Bach, addressed athletes, telling them they can still have their Olympic dreams come true.
Dear fellow athletes, let me start with the good news first. We all will be able to celebrate Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, even if it's only in 21. But finally, you can be sure that you can make your Olympic dream coming true.
Japan and the IOC are still working out the logistics of that move. President Donald Trump and Japan's Prime Minister Abe spoke on the phone this morning. Mr. Trump praised Abe for making, quote, very wise decision, according to Japan's chief cabinet secretary. Japan says the games will be held no later than the summer of 2021. As you know, the world is really attempting to cope with COVID-19, and it appears that our country, the USA, is now the new hotspot. John Lawrence has much more on this situation.
The coronavirus's grip on the United States just gets tighter.
In Michigan, cases went from 65 to 1,300 in 1 week. In Louisiana, basically no cases to close to 1,400 in 1 week. Florida and Georgia increasing by 20%.
At least 163 COVID-related deaths were reported Tuesday, setting a grim record for the U.S.
Half of those that have tested positive to date in the state of California are 18 to 49 years old. This disease impacts everybody.
New York State is dealing with the most cases thus far.
How can we be in a situation where you can have New Yorkers possibly dying because they can't get a ventilator, but a federal agency saying, I'm going to leave the ventilators in the stockpile?
As leaders fight for equipment and other help, doctors, nurses, and caregivers are working on those who've contracted the virus.
We are terrified. Everybody is terrified. We feel an obligation to take care of our patients. Everybody does. But we don't want to become sick, and we also don't want to become carriers, nor do we want to be so disabled that we can't care for people.
And the number of those who are ill keeps rising.
If things don't slow down, I'm concerned about several weeks from now.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
President Trump says he'd like to see restrictions on residents lifted by Easter, but health officials in the administration are saying, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, that a wait-and-see attitude is needed in this situation.
We've all heard the warnings from health officials to stand 6 feet apart. That's proper social distancing protocol. But that can be hard to visualize. So here are some examples of how far that is. It is the length of the average sedan, the equivalent of 2 golden retrievers standing nose to tail. The space a sofa takes up, the size of a door laying flat, the width of a moose's antlers. Health officials suggest that because the coronavirus is droplet spread, this is why you should stand 6 feet apart. It means if an infected person coughs or sneezes, it shouldn't be able to reach you. Those are some good. I think my favorite is the golden retrievers standing nose to tail. That's cute.
There you go. Or the moose. Is it a big moose? Is it a small moose?
Moose with 6 feet.
6 feet.
Yeah.
6 feet. And as I've been walking around the neighborhood and running on the Monon, people adhere to that. You know, they see you coming, they move over, you move over. So it's good to see everybody cooperating out and about. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with some patchy, dense fog in spots. Visibility down at 3/10 of a mile in Lafayette, 7/10 of a mile in Crawfordsville, 4/10 in Peru, and 6/10 in Terre Haute. So it's mainly on the western side of the state for right now. But this may start to spread off towards the east a little bit. Across the state line in Illinois, they have a dense fog advisory. We do not as of right now. We'll have to see what happens as these temperatures start to cool off a little bit. But for Crawfordsville and Greencastle and even in Terre Haute, your temperatures are at or just below freezing in some locations. So that could lead to a little bit of freezing fog. Just be patient here this morning. This fog will burn off very quickly once the sun comes up, which is a little before 8 o'clock this time of year. And then once we get that sunshine, we have it all day long. It's really the best weather day of the week. With that sunshine, temperatures will be climbing up through the 40s into the 50s, and eventually highs today will be topping off in the low 60s across the area. So it's going to turn into a very nice day. Just got to give it a couple hours this morning. You can see once that fog burns off, skies are clear. There's the rainfall that went through yesterday. It's now pushing off towards the east. So we enjoy the sun today and the first half of tomorrow. Tomorrow we start off much warmer in the morning in the mid to upper 40s. We climb into the 60s once again. But tomorrow evening, we bring in our next round of rain. And once the rain starts tomorrow evening, it's going to be with us for a while. So that's why you have to take advantage of today. We're still dry through 5 o'clock tomorrow, but then the rain will overspread parts of the area, mainly northern locations on a Thursday, and then it becomes more widespread as we go into the day on Friday. And into Saturday as well, becomes heavy at times Friday. And we certainly will have the potential for flooding, unfortunately, here across central Indiana, as many areas by the time we get to Saturday afternoon and evening could see potentially over 3 inches of rainfall.
Todd, thank you. We're taking a live look at I-65 south of 38th Street. As you can see, there are a few cars out there, but not much traffic to kick off your Wednesday morning. Kroger is calling on the federal government to provide protective masks and gloves to grocery store employees. The national chain released a statement Tuesday stating the need for the protective gear. Kroger says it fully supports healthcare workers having first priority, but it also acknowledged grocery workers have to be protected as well. The company says it's already installing plexiglass partitions at cash register and floor decals to promote distancing in the checkout lines. Kroger also adjusted its hours to allow more time for employees to rest, clean, and stock the stores. Universal Studios is extending the closure of its California and Florida parks until April 19th. The closures include Universal City Walk and hotels on the resorts. Universal originally said the parks would close until the end of March due to the COVID-19 outbreak. That's the same day Disney announced both Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California would close for the rest of March. Disney has not announced plans to extend that closure. It is 4:50. We'll be right back with much more here on Good Morning Indiana.
TV6, working for you.
2 Minnesota doctors are spreading a message of joy and hope through the power of music. Elvis Francois, an orthopedic surgery resident, sang a rendition of John Legend's Imagined, accompanied on the piano by Dr. William Robinson. ABC's David Muir has more.
Tonight, the 2 American doctors with the message.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
Dr. Elvis Francois singing, Dr. William Robinson playing piano. Orthopedic surgeon residents at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, singing John Lennon's Imagine after their shifts ended.
Imagine all the people living for today.
Both of them telling us tonight why they did it.
It just felt like a good time to share that bit of hope and togetherness and do a bit to make someone's day out there a little bit better.
But I'm not the only one.
In order to beat this thing and self-isolate and quarantine, you know, it's going to take everybody. And so the message of that song kind of hit home.
Tonight, their message as America fights this with the world.
I hope someday that you will join us. And the world will live as one.
Beautiful message there. In an Instagram post, Dr. Francois captioned the video with a message saying, quote, "Getting through this will be hard, but one thing is certain, the only way we will get through it is together as one." Here at 4:56, today is the best day of the week to get outside and enjoy the sunshine, Todd.
Yeah, get out there. A little fog this morning, but that burns off pretty quickly. Then plenty of sunshine, 62 degrees. The first half of tomorrow is not bad, but then increasing clouds. Rain arrives late tomorrow and then becomes heavy rainfall at times on Friday. More showers and thunderstorms on Saturday before we start a dry stretch of weather Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But by the end of the week and into the weekend, we could be talking about some localized flooding here across parts of the area. The time now is 4:56. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.